we're gonna try and spin up a Rancher 2.0 cluster from scratch. So there's no scripts, I'm not following much other than this quick start guide. And I haven't tried it before, so it means that things might go wrong. But that might be a good thing because then we can work together to fix it. Okay, so let's start it. So I have Rancher docs here. Also have my AWS console. I'm currently in North Virginia, but yeah, anywhere is fine. I'm gonna start by creating an EC2 machine, and I'm not sure if you guys are aware, but like Rancher is pretty flexible, so uh, basically you only need to have Docker installed on these versions to make it work. So uh, for simplicity, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna use the Amazon Linux Docker one, which is the one they use for ECS, right? Because it's much easier. I already have Docker and everything, so there's no need to install anything. So let's see what the AWS ECS MI is. Okay, so we were at North Virginia, which is US East 1. So the MI is this one. Let's grab this. And let's search for the MI here. Here we go. Let's choose the type of machine. I really hate the T2 machines, and it's a shame that they don't have small machines anymore that are not T2. T2, they use a CPU credit based thing. So which means that if you use a lot of CPU, eventually you run out of credits and your machine becomes completely dumb. And we definitely don't want that. So I'm gonna grab the smallest machine that is not a T2, which is unfortunately the M3 Medium. It's already last generation. The new generation ones, they only make large. And honestly, I don't want to pay for that. If you see how much they cost. Yeah, so if you compare the M3 Medium, we're talking about, which one's the right pricing here? Linux on-demand cost. So we're talking about almost $50 per month, which really definitely not cheap at all. And they're forcing us to go to M4 large, which is 73. You get more for the buck, like you get 2 CPUs and 8 gig for less than double the price of this one. So it's pretty good comparison, but obviously would be much better if you have an array of machines, smaller machines to choose from. Right, so that is out of the way, my little bit of complaining. Let's launch this into some crazy VPC I have here. Yeah, they both public subnet. We're gonna use public subnet for now. I don't want to complicate too much. I want to assign public IPs. And if like I said, I didn't prepare anything. This is for my account. Whatever is there is there. Yeah, so public enabled, cool. Add storage. Just gonna leave the defaults, to be honest. Gonna add the tag name. Will be Rancher server. Now we can take the volumes as well. That's really cool. Do I have any security group? Probably not. So let's create a security group for Rancher server. We need SSH. We need probably port 8080 as well to access Rancher. I'm probably gonna need more, but can come back to this soon. And for the key pair, I'm just going to create a new one. Just for simplicity. Okay, so that's my rancher key. Let's launch. New instances. It's coming up. So that's a. I'm just gonna check my VPC just to see if everything's alright. Meanwhile, so as you guys saw, there were 2 subnets. Yep. They should actually have auto-sign IP on. One of them had. The one didn't. Let's enable that because they're public, so they make sense to get public IPs as well. The route table should route to 000 to our internet gateway, which is that's what's happening, and it's assigned to a subnet. So it means they should have internet as long as they have a public IP. If they don't have a public IP, you need a NAT, and they cost money, and they're not cheap. So yes, since this is not an enterprise, we probably don't need that right now. As long as I have my internet gateway here, which I believe it's free, we're good to go. So the machine is coming up. Let's get the IP address. Let's try to log in using SSH. So you guys remember my key was in, I just downloaded my key. So just gonna go to document training, gonna move my key here. Oh, I did this before. Just gonna change to 400. Cool. So now when I log in, I use my key. I'm gonna use EC2 user, and the IP address just copy. EC2 user because this is Amazon AMI, so that's their standard. Should be able to become root. There's a small delay because I'm in Sydney and I just created a machine in North Virginia, so as you can see, well, you guys probably can see because I'm not typing, but yes, there is a small delay. Let's see if you have Docker. Yeah, you have Docker, and we have the Amazon agents, obviously, because yes, I was using their container. What's wrong? Kill, they come up, or they just came up, something. There might be a way to disable Amazon agents, so maybe not. Yeah, whatever. The agent will be there. Let's leave it at that. Let's go to Rancher. Okay, so how do you run Rancher server? Easy. So Rancher basically is also a container, right? So as long as we run the Rancher container, we get Rancher, basically. Easy as that. So just a little bit, this container here is bound to port 8080. That's why I opened port 8080 on the security group, like you guys saw. We're using the Rancher server preview, which is the 2.0 alpha. They haven't released yet. Hopefully when you're hearing this, it's already out and everything will be different. So check out for new videos. But this is just proof of concept of Rancher. Let's see how it is from the past. Okay, so Rancher Docker images are in layers. So the layers are downloaded independently to each other. And if you already have a layer on your machine, they wouldn't be downloaded again. It's like a git commit, each one of them. They have their own hash. So they can be shared between 2 images. If 2 images, they come from the same image. Once you download the second image, most of the initial layers will be already there. So it'll be much quicker. But since we didn't have any image here, obviously we need to download all the images, all the layers. That's what's happening now. Now extracting. This is a very slow machine, although it costs a lot. It just have one CPU. Amazon is not very kind of us. Cool. So we should have Rancher running on port 8080. Yes, there it is. So if I put the same IP on my browser now on port 8080, and remembering that doesn't work. Just well, let's check the security group again. Security groups should allow 8080 to 000, which is here. Yeah, TCP, everything. So let's see if the port is open. Yeah, looks like it is open. Connection refused. Let's see how the container is playing. So you can do a Docker logs, and you can put just the first field. You can put the first characters of the ID, and you see the container logs. Let's do it again. Looks like it's still initializing, and you got some errors here. I'll assume this is normal until nothing works. Something's happening here. Yay, no comparison. So no, okay, maybe yeah, doesn't matter. Okay, so this is Rancher. So it's open to the public now, as you can see. So it's warning me that I should enable authentication. But then you cannot enable authentication because it's a preview release. So let's just restrict this a little bit. Just gonna restrict to my own IP address. That again, this is the security group we created when we launched the instance. So now we're still connected, hopefully. Yeah, we're still. But nobody else will be able to connect. So I don't care about authentication anymore. Let's see what we can do here. So this is the Kubernetes Rancher, basically. Rancher 2.0 is just Kubernetes. Before you could choose whatever cattle, Kubernetes, Swarm, and Mises, maybe something else. I think Windows Container, and they got rid of all of this. They say, no, Kubernetes is the future. Let's just do Kubernetes. Okay, so that's where we are now, the future. Well, you guys are more in the future than me, but this feature, that's the feature where Rancher started adding Kubernetes only to the product, right? So how do you add a host now? Because we have a server, but we don't have any hosts. So if you just have a Kubernetes or Swarm, usually the servers are the cluster itself. Let's say you need to have 3 or more servers, and then you have a cluster, and they talk to each other, and they will elect the leader. All the cluster goodness that, that's how they work. While Rancher is a bit different. Rancher is more like a client-server appliance. So you have a Rancher server, which is backed by a MySQL database, which right now it's inside my container. So if I destroy the container, I lose all my data. But it's very easy to put that MySQL database out, even to an RDS instance. So you have a good level of redundancy. You can lose the server. As long as you don't lose the database, you're good to go. So if you lose the server, the only thing that happens is you're not able to deploy containers, to make changes on your hosts or containers or services, anything. But your container is still going to run on your cluster. So you can lose a server and you have zero downtime. You just cannot deploy anymore. So I think it's good enough for most of the places. As long as you have a safe database with backups or even master slave, it's we're not very likely going to lose everything, right? And they also have a high availability way that you have multiple servers. But honestly, I don't care about if my server is down for a few minutes. I'm just gonna stop deploying. So you have to say if that's a big deal for you, then yeah, you should definitely have high availability. But most of the cases you probably don't need. So I'll stop for now and I'll come back later to make this rancher work with hosts, and we start deploying something to it. See ya.